If you're tired of not receiving your manifestations as fast as you like and you're starting to feel like a personal development project, this episode is for you. Hey guys, welcome back to day 12 of the challenge. So, we're going to get straight into today's episode, which is kind of a deeper dive into the last 2 days. So, this is a massive trap that we get stuck in energetically when we are trying to manifest the dream business, the dream life, the dream relationship, everything that we want basically. This is the trap that we fall into. And it's kind of something that you have to go through, but the trap is we stay in it way longer than we need to because we think that we know that that is what you should do, when really the final piece to making it all lock in is putting the tools and the techniques and the wisdom that we've gained the knowledge of into practice, and that can only be done in the body. And that's why in my framework within the success model we focus on the mind, body and soul alignment, because you have to have them all in alignment. Like, we have the memories in our mind and we control and reprogram the subconscious mind, but the subconscious mind is linked to the nervous system. The body also holds that pattern of the fear, of the doubt, of the limitation. So we have to clear that energetically, which then emits out a new frequency, which then calls in everything that we do want. So that's why it's so important to embody the work and not just know the work. So you'll know if this is relevant to you if you find yourself feeling like a personal development project, if you feel like you understand all the theories behind manifestation, you're always reading up about it, you're always listening to podcasts, you're watching videos on YouTube about it, you even watch tarot readings to try and get an idea of when things are going to slot into place for you. You understand all the theories, and if someone tries to tell you something about it, you're like, yeah, I know, and you reinforce what they're saying with your wisdom that you've gained. And you've probably been in this state of mind for a few years now, and it starts to feel really frustrating because you're like, I just don't get it. I'm doing the work, I'm journaling, I'm visualizing, I'm doing my EFT, I'm listening to the podcast, I'm doing everything, but all I'm doing is feeling overwhelmed and burnt out because I'm still not seeing the results. And it's so frustrating to be in this state. And essentially, we give ourselves analysis paralysis because we're just trapped in a state where we intellectually understand manifestation, but we aren't fully embodying it. And embodiment is the final piece. So instead of allowing our desires to flow, we're actually gripping them so tightly that they can't materialize, which is what we spoke about yesterday. So, just to break this down and give you a little bit of context into what happens energetically, 4D consciousness is the state of mind that we fall into when we're experiencing what I've just said. So, 4D consciousness is the bridge between the physical, which is the 3D. This is one of lack of survival mode, living by the constraints of society, and the limitless quantum reality of the 5D. And that is, as we know, the 5D is where we are living in our purpose, we're creating off our gifts, and we are getting divinely compensated as a result, meaning that we can live out our dream life where there is no limitation, there's only possibility. So it's where we awaken to the idea that our thoughts create our reality, but then we get stuck because instead of using this awareness to step into the flow, we become obsessed with the thoughts and trying to figure it all of it out. So this can look like us constantly analyzing our vibration and thinking, am I high vibe enough right now? Oh, I need to feel good. Maybe if someone is making me not feel good, I need to just not see them anymore. I need to just get them out of my life. They're just bringing my vibe down. I just can't be around them right now. They're affecting my manifestation. Or we over research spiritual concepts, so we spend hours on understanding quantum physics. We're reading the Joe Dispenza books, the Neville Goddard, Abraham Hicks. We're learning about nervous system regulation. Our whole TikTok, Instagram, YouTube feed is all about manifestation. We obsess over signs and synchronicities. We're constantly looking for angel numbers, waiting for full moon transits and pulling tarot cards to confirm our manifestations because we're giving our power away. And we're like, okay, that's confirmation. Yes, I'm on the right track. And whilst it is, we're basically saying that we're waiting for a sign before we know that it's already ours, when we have forgot that the power is within and we get to choose. And don't get me wrong, I'm not standing on my high horse here. I stayed in the 4D for a good year. Literally, I was seeing angel numbers everywhere, still do. And I was listening to tarot card readings every day. I was just trying to just understand, like, when was it going to all work out? When was I actually going to see the fruits of my efforts? When was it all going to just click into place? Like, I truly felt it would do in my heart, but it just felt like it was always that one step away. And this is so challenging because the 4D is so closely linked to the 3D. You've got, the only difference is that you've got a greater awareness. And to be honest, that can be even more exhausting than not knowing, because you're stuck in your mind and you're exhausted, but you know better, but you can't do better because you're not embodying it. So it's just such a trap. But by the end of this episode, you're going to know how to get out of it, and you're going to be the embodiment of all the wisdom that you've gained, and realize that manifestation isn't about adding more to your life or to your routine, like in terms of techniques. It's actually about letting go of the beliefs and the conditioning and the programming that's actually keeping your vibration at the set vibration that it is right now, so that you can clear that, and then you can just naturally attract everything that you want as a byproduct. And the more fun you have, the more you get to receive. And we covered that a few days ago. So another sign of you being in the 4D is feeling like you're a personal development project. So never feeling done with the healing work. You feel like there's always another belief to clear, there's always another wound to heal, there's always another method to try, and believing that there's a right way to manifest. So you become afraid to take action because you're worried about messing up your energy. You are worried about just like what people think, about the fear of failing, about the fear of change. You are just really aware of your power, but you are afraid to step into it. And this is honestly, like, it melts my heart if you get to this point, because I just think the membership is going to blow your mind. Because if you're already at this stage, I get how frustrating it is to know everything but not to embody it, or not know how to embody it. And you understand the word embodiment, but you're like, how the F do I do that? How the hell do I do that? And when you clear the fear of stepping into your power, the fear of failure, the fear of change, and you get rid of all these limitations, then you realize that you feel safe just being. You feel safe just thinking, do you know what does my inner child want to do today? What do I genuinely want to do today? I want to go and have fun. I want to just live. I don't want to be head in a book, making notes, trying to figure things out. I just want to be. So if you can relate and you are at that point, honestly, I'm so excited for you, because this is going to be pivotal. So now let's talk about the psychology and the nervous system patterns that are at play. So this pattern, when we're in the 4D, isn't just about our thoughts. It's actually deeply wired into the nervous system and the belief system, which is why it's so crucial that we clear all these fears. So like I've already identified with you, we do have like the fear of unknown, the fear of change, but the fear of unknown is linked to the need for certainty, because the subconscious mind craves safety. And 4D is a space of uncertainty where you know you're creating your reality, but the results aren't instant. So it's kind of like that no man's land where you're in this little portal and you can feel everything. Like, you feel that the possibilities are limitless. And it sounds crazy, like talking about it to people who just can't see your manifestations in your physical reality yet. And this is where we are so exposed to projections and limitations and doubt of others. And then if we encounter those limitations, then we then start to have our wounds and our old beliefs triggered. But this is a great sign. So I want you to pay attention to when you're feeling a little bit of shame, when you're feeling like maybe you I don't know, you might feel a little bit small if you're speaking about your big goals, but you feel like you're acting a little bit timid when you're articulating them. That is a sign that you've got a little bit of a belief that you don't really believe it's possible, even though consciously you know it truly is. So we also, in this state, try to compensate by controlling the process, by gathering more information instead of trusting ourselves to embody the work. So we mistake learning for doing the work, and then we are baffled when we don't get the results, when we've not reached the financial revenue goal that we anticipated, when we've not got the amount of new clients that we envisaged in that month, because we've spent all of our time reading in a book trying to perfect what we already know before embodying a section at a time, because we've been waiting for this right moment. And this stems from our perfectionism. That is a deeply ingrained pattern within us. And we also hyper intellectualize the information as avoidance to actually doing the inner work. So this is like the spiritually bypassing technique that I mentioned in an earlier podcast. So sometimes we use spirituality as a coping mechanism instead of actually doing the inner work. So we feel like if we're learning about it, that's the work done, but it's not. And if we grew up in an environment where emotions weren't safe, we might feel like we analyze the emotions instead of actually feeling them. So I stayed in a state like this for the longest time. So one of my best friends, she's on this journey with me as well. So she's a coach, she's in Spain at the minute. And I would just tell her how I was feeling when I'm doing the healing work, and she'd be like, yeah, it's because of this. And I'd be like, yeah, I know it's because of that. And it's because of this, 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 and this. And she's like, yeah, but are you actually feeling that? You're telling me what you know, but are you feeling it? And I wasn't. I was just thinking that I was feeling it by actually speaking what I was feeling, but I didn't connect to my body and allow myself to truly feel what my body was trying to communicate. And this is the power of embodiment. This is why it's the final piece to the 5D. So if you know why you're behaving a certain way, why your results are the way they are, why you are getting frustrated, but you're not sitting there with your body. And this is why the parts integration is so powerful that I shared with you in a previous episode, because you actually get to see those parts of you that need that attention. And it's usually the inner child fighting with the higher self, because they don't feel safe, they don't feel heard, they don't feel seen. Because if we grew up in an environment where our emotions weren't valid and we were told to just suck it up and get on with it, that's still at play now. So we really have to feel the emotion and allow ourselves to just feel it for literally like 10 seconds, and it just diffuses. And if you're struggling to feel the intensity of it, then use emotional freedom technique to talk yourself through what you can feel. You can do it intuitively. You can just tap on the areas that I shared with you in a previous episode and just say, right now, I am feeling so overwhelmed. I can feel it in my heart, my chest, my shoulders are high, my heart rate is high and intense, and I know that this is part of the process because I've avoided feeling it for the longest time. And even though I feel this overwhelm over doing the simplest of things, of this task that I want to do, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And then you just go through allowing yourself to accept where you are in this present moment, what you're feeling. And then once you feel like that sensation of overwhelm is neutralized, then you can go in on your second round or third round, however many rounds it takes, and then you can affirm what you want. So the more I relax, the more I receive. The more I have fun, the more money flows to me. I understand that this is an old pattern at play, and I'm ready to let go and release it. I'm ready to embody the teachings that I have poured myself into for the last 2 years. Whatever you need to say, whatever is relevant to you. Okay, so we can also be in our perfectionism era, and this is basically when we have a fear of getting it wrong, because manifestation isn't a test. But if you're a perfectionist, you may feel like you need to follow the exact right steps to succeed. And this comes from our childhood conditioning, where mistakes led to punishment or rejection. And this is why the clearing the conditioning track of perfectionism is so good, like so good. Like it'll take you back to the root cause memory of when you were like 0 to 7, could even be in a past life. And you can see that moment in time when you were made to feel stupid or wrong for not getting something right. And from that moment forward, you felt like everything had to be right or you would be punished or abandoned. And the subconscious mind will not allow you to do that. It wants to keep you safe. Also, if we lack deep self-trust, we may constantly look for external validation. So seeking for angel numbers, waiting for an intuitive hit, looking for evidence before we act. And the belief at play there is, I need confirmation before I can move. Before I can move forward, before I can take action. I'm waiting for the right moment, when really success loves speed. So we get to decide when the right moment is. We are essentially God in human form. We are all the same. We all have the same power. We all have limited amount of consciousness. We just get to decide at what level we operate from. And all you need to do is release the limitations. So, how does this affect us physically? So, obviously, by being in the 4D, we're very in our mind. And 5D is the embodiment of all of the teachings. And this is when we get to have fun and we just be. So, being in this state of the 4D isn't just mentally exhausting, but if we stay in the state for too long, it actually manifests in our body as well. So signs that you're stuck in 4D, which I'm calling analysis paralysis, are you might experience tight shoulders, jaw tension from holding on to stress. You might find that when you wake up in the morning, you're like clenching your jaw. You can experience fatigue because you're overthinking. And even though you're giving yourself the rest, you're lying on the sofa, you're lying in bed at night, you're overthinking what you need to do, what you've not done, what they might have thought of you, how you could improve, what strategy you need to implement, why your business isn't succeeding as you envisaged, how much you hate your career, all of the things, that is draining your energy. You might have stomach issues due to the constant stress response and the increased cortisol that is in your body, and causing your nervous system to be in the sympathetic state, which is blocking its ability to rest and digest everything that we need. So along with this, you can experience like water retention, bloatation around the lower stomach, swelling, excess weight gain because your body doesn't feel safe. So even if you try to go to the gym, you try to go on walks, you try to eat healthily, you find that it's so difficult for your body to just let go of the weight, and it's just because it doesn't feel safe. You might experience anxiety or restlessness because the body is in the hypervigilance mode and it's waiting for that right moment. It's like a little pit bull waiting to see a rabbit that is going to go and chase, or like a greyhound waiting to set off on the track and go and chase that little rabbit. Like it's constantly on high alert, and that is physically and emotionally draining. And in this stage, you feel like an absolute killjoy. You will notice that you feel so disconnected from joy, from spontaneity, and from fun because you've gone into this hyper vigilant, hyper focused. I know what I want. I know how I think I know how to get there. And I'm just going to keep reading. I'm just going to keep learning. I'm just going to keep doing. And that is the massive trap. So you need to lean into fun. You need to lean into joy. And then you realize, oh my God, it gets to be this easy. It actually gets to be this easy. It's incredible. So how are we actually going to break free from this consciousness, this 4D way of being, and step into 5D flow? So first of all, we're going to shift from I need more proof, I need more angel numbers, I need more tarot readings, I need more notifications on my phone that's a relevant reading telling me that this is confirmation that I am going to make it, to I am the proof. I trust myself to be in alignment even when I don't have all the answers. I know that I am in the right moment at the right time with just the right amount of information to take action. And the action to support that belief would be to stop consuming content and start applying what you already know. Start doing the work. So, like, you're listening to this podcast, do the work. Come back tomorrow, do the work. Don't just listen and it's like doom scrolling, just listening to satiate the fact that you think because you've listened that you're working on your manifestations. You have to do the work. And I get it. I avoided it for the longest time. I thought, oh God, like breath work's not going to make that much of a difference. EFT is not going to make that much of a difference. Listen to my subliminals. I mean, it doesn't matter if I go weeks without listening to them, but it does. And then every time I would just give myself a challenge, I'd be like, right, okay, I'm going to do breath work and I'm going to do hypnosis for 30 days and I'm going to see what happens. Life was so bloody good, so easy. Didn't have to worry. I was waking up with this sense of peace in my body. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I could be in heaven. I'm that peaceful. And this is why the work is so important. We have to embody it. So once we've shifted from I need more proof to I am the proof, then we need to regulate the nervous system to feel safety in that surrender and that trust and that new state of being. So our body needs to feel safe before the mind can let go. This is why it's important. We need to let the mind go. So we're going to do our breath work, and the alternate nostril breathing is the one for this. That is going to help balance out your masculine and feminine energies, and also just going to put you in that deep state of relaxation. We're going to do EFT tapping, like I've already mentioned, and again, grounding practices to anchor you into the present moment. Even something as simple as stopping what you're doing. If your mind's racing and you're just feeling a little bit overwhelmed, stop what you're doing, look around the room, even list what you can see. Start tuning into the sounds that you can hear, the washing machine, the little subtle noises that you don't hear when your mind is busy. Then we're going to detach from the perfect process, and we're actually going to have more fun. So the universe responds to energy, not rituals. It doesn't care if you have a 15-step daily morning routine. It doesn't care if you get up at 5. It doesn't care if you get up at 10. It doesn't care what you do. It only responds to our energy. That's it. And our energy is dictated by our beliefs. Our beliefs are dictated by our conditioning. And when we clear the conditioning, when we focus on being the embodiment of that higher self, and our subconscious mind is now in alignment with that, it's just game over. You get everything that you want. So ask yourself daily, how can I make this more fun? And if something feels heavy or forced, just tweak it until it feels effortless. And the final tip is to stop seeking external validation and to just practice trusting yourself. I know it's hard when we've just felt like, especially as a people pleaser, we just have thrown ourselves under the bus time and time and time again to just give everyone what they want, and then we just get left behind essentially until we feel so abandoned and so low that we then start making a change. So just make sure that you are practicing your self-trust. Remember, signs and synchronicities are fun. It's nice when a reg plate drives by and it's 222 or 777 or 999 to end that cycle, but they should never replace our self-trust. We have a knowing that we're already on the right path. We're already doing everything that we know we should be doing, that we want to be doing. And the sign is just confirmation. It's not a sign to go. It's just confirmation that we are on the right track. And ask yourself, if I never received another sign, would I still believe that my manifestation was on its way? Yeah, because we know. Is a feeling, it's a knowing. The sign is a confirmation, but we don't need it. We know. We are the creators of our reality. We just have to let go of everything that tells us that we're not. So the final thoughts that I'm going to leave you with, and the reminders for this episode, are that 4D analysis paralysis is the sneakiest way of our subconscious trying to keep us safe. It's not true manifestation practice. True manifestation comes from the embodiment, not the overthinking. You don't need to do more. That's stuck in the 3D. You need to let go of the beliefs and the blocks that keep you from your innate frequency of possibility and awe. And that's why I am obsessed with the human design, clearing the conditioning, hypnosis, and just locking in the state of embodiment through somatic work and literally just fun. Like, it sounds so simple, but when you relax your nervous system, you've cleared the beliefs, you've upgraded your inner narrative. You are your own best friend. You are an absolute powerhouse that no one can fuck with. You are just, that's it. It's just game over. You've got what you want. You have got everything that you want. So I'm going to leave it right there, and I hope you've got amazing takeaways from this. I would love to know if you want to send me a message. I would really appreciate that. Let me know your takeaways. Send this to anyone that you feel would benefit from hearing all of this, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode for day 13 of the challenge. Bye.